Hi there, I'm Yasmin, I'm the Community Manager here at Sandbox Interactive, and I'm going to be talking about Albion Online's Classless character customization system today. So in most games of the MMO genre, when players choose a character they also choose a class to play with that character, and that essentially determines their playstyle for the rest of the game. In Albion Online we didn't want to do this, we wanted to give players complete flexibility over how they played and what they chose as their playstyle, so for this reason we gave players a lot of choice in how they kitted their characters out, and I'm just going to demonstrate that to you now in the game. So in Albion Online our motto has always been you are what you wear, and as you can see on this character at the moment what I'm wearing is a set of heavy plate armour and a sword and a shield. So this is essentially the normal loadout of a traditional tank class character, so I could probably tank pretty effectively with this. And this is sort of what we want people to do. We want to allow players to choose the traditional classes of an MMO genre, but we also want them to experiment. So for instance, I could also pop on a major staff and a spell tome, which will also give me buffs to my mana, and this is perfectly acceptable in Albion Online. We want players to be able to experiment with that and kind of combine different aspects of different classes in order to create their perfect character. Another thing I could pop on is a crossbow and run around with that to do some more kind of ranged moves with my plate armor on. Or I could pop on the traditional garb of a mage, but also pop back on my sword and my shield. So yeah, we really do want players to kind of fiddle around with the different combinations and kind of just see what works best for them. Each different combination will have its own strengths and weaknesses, so there won't be one perfect one to use. We just want players to be able to kind of experiment and kind of see, yeah, what works for them and what they think is best. So another source of variety in Albion Online is the series of spells that we have to offer. So in the game, all items are player crafted, and when players craft these items, they can choose from a series of spells and abilities to craft onto these items. Okay, so I'm just going to show you that now in the game. So I'm going to head over to this forge here, just click on him, and as you can see that brings up a menu giving me a couple of things that I can craft. So I'm going to craft some weapons now. So I'm going to go first of all for an axe. Now we want this to be quite a kind of close quarters combat, damage oriented weapon, so you'll be able to see that from the different spells that we have to equip onto it. So in these top two slots we'll have active spells that we can pop on there, and one slot for a passive spell down here. So if I click on these, this game still is an alpha, so please excuse the kind of early UI that we have here, but as you can see from these, all of these spells are quite damage oriented to kind of fit with that weapon. So I'm going to go for Decapitate, and I think Rend, which is a damage over time spell. Just kind of, yeah, really make that quite a damage oriented weapon. Again, you can combine any of those spells together. And then these kind of give me different buffs to my auto attack, so I've got a chance of increased movement speed, healing, or just a buff to my damage with auto attack. I'm going to go again for that one, just to really kind of unify these spells here, and craft that one. And that should equip automatically because I currently have nothing in my main hand. So yeah, there we go, that's equipped immediately. And as you can see, now that I've got it equipped, I have these two spells the active ones up here ready for me to use, because I've got that equipped currently. In contrast, if I go for a tier 3 broadsword, this is a bit more of a tactical weapon, still close combat melee, still kind of two active spells at the top here, and one slot for a passive spell. But as you can see, if I click on here, we have a little bit more of an array of different spells to go for. So the idea is that you kind of combine different ones of these to create the sort of perfect weapon in different situations. So for instance, if I were in a PvE fight, for instance, I might want to go for a kind of defensive stance and taunt. Just against mobs might be a good combination to go for, and then perhaps restoring some energy with each auto attack. In contrast, if I were in a PvP rather, against perhaps a ranged opponent, I might want to go for a dash and a hamstring. So kind of a dash will bring me in for sort of close quarters melee, and the hamstring will stop them from being able to run away by reducing their movement speed, and then again I can go for an increased auto attack damage. So if I craft that one, and I'll equip that one quickly, and then I'll be able to show you that again. If I have this in my main hand now, I then have the 2 spells Dash and Hamstring up there, just available to me now that I've equipped this sword. And again, this system of spells applies to all different items in the game, so it's not just weapons, it's also armour. And again, we really just want players, just as with all the items themselves, to be able to kind of experiment and combine different spells on different items to really create their perfect loadout and their perfect and ideal weapon for different situations. So that was your dev blog about Albion Online's classless character customization system. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.